It's Vanity Ezel, back at another Card Fight Vanguard weekly reveals Ezel and the Vanity. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join the Patreon. Let's get this one started. So this week we got very few reviews because apparently there was a Japanese holiday, I believe. So we didn't get as many reviews as I thought we were going to get. But first off, for once, we finally are done with Monster Strike. Jesus, I was waiting for this moment. 2, we got a lot of Lyrical Monasterio stuff along with their Overtrigger, and finally, Dimensional Robo Daikaiser has returned from the great beyond. So let's go ahead and get all these reveals done, and we'll see what we get. So first up, we have Blue Hair Genius Lysis, 3k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost for Lyrical Monasterio. Auto when placed on rear, choose one of your other units, and it gets plus 10 for the turn. So I like all these new Lyrical Monasterio things because they remind me of old Vanguard, where a lot of their power bases were differentiate a lot. Like all the other stuff from the main 5 nations, not a lot of them even go into the 3k. I think the lowest power for them is 5k, and that's for the triggers. So I really like how Lyrical Monasterio is kind of taking the, I guess, crossover approach where their numbers are all over the place, and I like that about it. And that free 10k, yeah, sure, just call it, something gets plus 10, bounce it with the Alcestis ride line, and then call it back again with its skill during the battle phase, and then get another plus 10. Yeah, because logic is fair here. Either way, this is a really helpful card, and since it does it for free, there was no reason not to run this at 4. Next up, we have Rainbow Rings Ellie Mule. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. White Wings. When placed on rear, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1 and choose one of your rear guards for every 3 odd grade units, and they get plus 5k power and plus 1 crit. Cannot choose the same unit twice. So, pretty much, every one of your odd grade units, whoa, not everyone, but for every 3 of your odd grade units. Yeah, so pretty much if your whole field is odd grade units, then 2 units get the ability, if I'm reading that correctly. I'm not so sure if I'm reading that correctly. I'm pretty sure I am. This thing is kind of weird for me. Either way, I really like this card because it gives something plus 5 and plus 1 crit. Whether it's for the turn or not, I have no idea. But even if it's not, it's still a good thing. So I say a 4 of, or maybe a 3 of. Next up is Second Coming Shediol. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Act rear, counterblast 1 and put it into your soul. Draw a card, choose a card from your bind zone, and it gets plus 1 grade for the turn. Black Wings, continuous rear guard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects, and it cannot be attacked by your opponent's rear guards. So if you have Black Wings active, your opponent can't touch this. This is immortal. The only way you can touch this is if you're using Chaos and you call over it with a locked card. That's the only way you can touch this. But it basically gets you a soul, you get a draw out of it, and you can change the grade of your card in the bind zone to activate whatever wings you want. Oh, you wanted an even number and the thing in your bind zone is an odd number? Just use this thing skill. It becomes an even number, and then you can use White Wings, and vice versa. So, I forgot, was Black Wings even or was White Wings even? I don't even remember anymore. Point is, it can just change the activation cost of the wings, allowing for, I guess, flexibility between them. And it goes back at the end of the turn. So if it was like a defensive thing, you can turn it to aggressive. So that's really nice to have. 4 of. Like, there's no reason not to run this a 4 of. Next up, we have Flying Away Chilu. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Black Wings when it attacks. Counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and it cannot stand during the next stand phase. So it's a lockdown card. Okay, I'll take it. It makes for a decent rush attacker if your opponent tried rushing you too. So I say a 2 of or 3 of, depending on situation. Plus that's a free soul charge, so I'll take it. Next up, we have Balance Wiggler. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto when placed on rear, counterblast 1 and perform one of the following effects depending on the number of your opponent's rear guards. 2 or less, this unit gets plus 5 for the turn. 3 or more, choose one of your opponent's from or rear guards and retire it. So either they haven't been playing the game, or they just have been stalling up their hand to make a big rush later. So this thing will get plus 5 when it's placed, making for a little cheeky rush attack. Or they have been playing the game, they've advanced their field, and use this to go murder something. So either way, I say it's decent. I say a 3 of, 2 of, not a 4 of. Next up, we have Dignified Talent Ellis. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto rear when it's boosted if your Vanguard is Alcestis Kari, the grade 3 of the trial deck. Counterblast 1, call a hand card to an open rear. So that's really good because Kari focuses Kari forces you to call 2 units to the same column when you use its ability. So if this is one of them, and then you boost it with something else, and you use this thing's skill, you technically get 5 attacks. So before, when I first said you get 5 attacks, I was wrong. Now you do actually get 5 attacks. So I really like this. If you're building a deck focused on the Acestus line, put this at 4. You'll thank me later for that. Next up, we have Magnificent Tone Ludia. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto when placed on rear. Counterblast 1, reveal 2 normal units from your hand and put them on the bottom. Search your deck for up to 1 card with the same name as your Vanguard, put it to hand, and shuffle your deck. Okay, so are we just going to ignore the fact that if you're using this with Acestus, you technically get 2 Persona searches, because you do 1 by calling it during the main phase, you get your search off, then you bounce it when your Vanguard attacks, and at the end of that battle, if you Persona Road, you call it back, it was placed on rear again, so you can just search again. Are we just going to ignore that you technically get 2 Persona searches out of this? I'm not complaining. I was planning on making Acestus one of my mains, so I ain't complaining about this. I'm just making it clear. But also, it just works with all the other Lyrical decks too. It just works best with Acestus. Either way, this thing's really good, so 4 of. Next up, we have Sakura Season Rudy, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto rear, when your rear guard is returned to your hand, this unit gets +5 for the turn. I'm having flashbacks to certain cards, and now I'm worried because if I'm correct, you can use this with Bermuda. And now I'm questioning, how good is Bermuda about to get? I might want to not fuck with any Bermuda players for a while. Either way, this is really good. It's for free, so I'll take it at 4 or 3. Next up, we have Blaze Maiden Elba, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Act rear, counterblast 1, and rest 3 Blaze Maiden rear guards with different card names once per turn. Draw a card, choose one of your vanguards, and until end of turn it gets continuous van. All of your units in the front row get +10. Okay, now I'm starting to feel like just all the stuff coming from Dragon Empire was meant to support my stupid decision towards set 1. Because when set 1 came out and I didn't like Verena Valiente, I made a completely separate deck just for Blaze Maidens. Weirdly. And then it was apparently it helped with like the focus on Urger, and then I just put Urger in the deck. And now we're getting the Blaze Maiden support cards for the trial. I'm presuming this is for the trial deck that's coming out for Blaze Maidens. So now I'm wondering, did I accidentally predict that all of this was going to happen and then I decided to build a deck ahead of time for the situation? Is that what happened? Did I accidentally foresee the future? If so, yes, and thank God, now I have reasons to do Dragon Empire. Either way, I really like this because it's probably going to be really helpful with the Blaze Maiden build. I mean, we already have a lot of Blaze Maidens, and then when we get a Vanguard Focus Blaze Maiden, depending on what it does and what it is, you know, this will actually help it. So I say 3 over 4, depending on what you're trying to put it in. Next up, we have Steam Maiden Lucia, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto when placed on rear if you have 5 or more cards in soul, counterblast 1, and choose one of your opponent's front or rear guards and retire it. Nothing special about it, but it's fine. It's good. I'll take it. I'll say 3 of, or 2 of. Next up, my favorite card, one of my favorites revealed all day, Aurora Battle Princess, Accuse Maletti. Not even close on any of those, I'm pretty sure. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto, just in general. When this unit is placed on rear from hand, Soul Blast 1, imprison the top card of your opponent's deck face up in the prison. Then if there are 2 more opponent's cards in prison in your prison, until end of turn this gets +5, so it's a 15k. Now, I like that a lot, because a lot of people, when you play against prison, they'll either be playing Dragon Empire and they'll just do triple Trickstar back row, and then you can't touch them, or like you can't get the 3 off from Seraph Snow. Well, now you kind of can, because yeah, they've given us hand stuff, they've given us drop zone stuff, but now we have a way to get their top deck, which also is a slight form of milling and a fuck you to their triggers. So I like this a lot. Like, set 1 Prison, I just was very disappointed in. I thought Prison was just going to die after that. Set 2, they fixed it with Turquoise and then getting stuff from hand. Lemon was okay in the Fistful collection, but it was on its own, so not that much. And then they gave us this. So I'm starting to like Prison. It didn't have me at first. Now it has me. I like this card. 3 of, 4 of. Don't care between the 2. Next up, we have Insight Magic Perprilla. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto rear at the end of the battle that your draft check revealed a trigger unit. Counterblast 1 and discard 2 to draw 2. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't find this useful in Hexa, Orb, or Bastion. PBD, yeah, that's fine. But, like, In Bastion, I could see some people using this. I would not use this at all because it's not a grade 3, and I refuse to not follow the line of grade 3 all. And then for Hexa Orb, with my experience of Hexa Orb, I can stack my drive check, so while it would be easy to pull that off, that doesn't mean I should use it because that would also deck me out quicker, so I don't see using this card myself personally. You can use it if you want. I think PBD would probably be the best for this. If I'm wrong, so be it, but I'm pretty sure this works better for PBD than the other two. Next up, we have Sylvan Horn Beast M-Pix. AK base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Continuous back row rear. This unit gets plus 10. Okay, so already it's an 18k swinger. Okay, fuck logic. And then if you have 3 or less rear guards, all of your rear guards on the same column as it cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. Now, only if it said your opponent cannot target the card for an attack. Because, oh, you could just put this in the back center and your opponent can't do shit. I would love for that to be its skill, but that would be way too good. Either way, that's really nice. That's an 18k base on its own. And then when you attack with Magnolia, that's a 23k swing. I just love this card. I say 4 of or 3 of because it's for free. Next up, we have this Lyrical card. World Tour Special Live Shows, not the name of this thing. That was the name of the set order for the trial deck. I have no idea what this thing's name is. 8k base, grade 1, boost, 5k shield. Auto rear, when it's placed on van or rear, if your opponent's vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1 until end of turn and it gets plus 5. So, pretty much, it's just a free 13k base, not free, but 13k base, and like with all Lyrical Monasterio decks, or cards that involve on placing, if you just, apply this to assess this line, this is going to be really good. I like this. 3 of, 4 of. Next up, we have the Overtrigger revealed for Lyrical Monasterio, and Mysterious Twins, Romia and Rumia. 5k base, 50k shield, grade 0 with boost, Overtrigger as per usual. You may only have one in the deck. When revealed as a trigger, remove it from the game and choose one of your units, and it gets plus 1 million for the turn, and you get to draw a card. If revealed during your drive check, activate an additional effect as well. And the additional effect is during the fight, you get during your turn, all of your rear guards get plus 10. Okay, first off, that's like the Darkseid's Overtrigger, which I like that they're including more cards that are have a permanent effect on the game. So that plus 10, that is really good. Okay, with the Darkseid's Overtrigger, with me experimenting with it a lot and the few times I have pulled it, it does, depending on when you pull it, it will make it harder for your opponent to live. If you pull it early on, they are fucked. This is like that one, where if you pull it early on, you can make a rush out of fucking anything and your opponent's probably dead the following turn. So, especially with, any deck that has any form of multi-attack, I don't think Black Wings / White Wings can take advantage of this. Effin' Acestus can take the hell with this, and then, and it also says all rear guards, too, so any column is a 20k swing plus. So, this Overtrigger is really good. Amazing. I like this thing. I like the fact that it has a permanent effect on the game. If they give us more Overtriggers like this, I'll be happy. And then we also have the other Overtriggers from left to right, Greatest Star, Estreza, Demonic Fever, Guevara, Fantastic Fernale, Katrina, and Blessing Diva, Grizel. They all are have all the same effect. So, those are Overtriggers for Lyrical Monasterio. And then finally, we have our main reveal for today, which is Dimensional Robo Daikaiser Return. So, let's go ahead and do a support cards first. Dimensional Robo Die Prop. Grade 1 with boost, 10k power, 10k shield, 8k power. Auto, when placed on van, reveal a normal unit from your hand and put at the bottom, draw a card, and if you put a grade 3 for the cost, draw another card. So pretty much reveal a grade 3, draw 2. I like that. It's good, and it can also refill your deck. And then act rear, once per turn, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your vanguards, and it gets plus 5 for each force marker on your van. Okay, so we're going back to the force spamming thing. I like that because Dimensional Robos were the first deck to be able to get a lot of force markers in one turn. Granted, it wasn't intending. Actually, no, they couldn't get multiple force markers in one turn. Never mind. Either way, I say that's a good ability. Next up, we have Dimensional Robo Kaisered. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 intercept. Auto, when rode upon by a grade 3, discard a card from your hand, get an imaginary gift force, and put it on your vanguard. Hey, you stole that from Astral Poets. You stole that. I know there's not a card that does that, but still, that seems like a card that would have existed in that deck. Tell me I'm wrong. Either way, that's a really good ability, because it's just a discard, get a gift. That's awesome. And then continuous rear, during your turn, if your vanguard has a force marker on it, it gets plus 10, and if there's 3 or more force markers, it gets another plus 10. So, pretty much it's a 30k base if you have 3 or more force markers. And you're guaranteedly getting 1 from its skill. And then if you ride anything with the force marker, it's going to get another one. So it's got 2 force markers already, so you just have to wait another turn. I like this card. I say 4 of. And then finally, our Super Dimensional Rumble, Daikaiser! Ow, I broke my voice doing that. 13k base, grade 3, Twin Drive, Force Gift. I almost said Persona Ride out of pure instinct. Continuous Van, if this unit's power is 35k or greater, it gets +1 crit. So, it has been a hot while since I've seen an effect like that just activates by the amount of power that you have. So that's really nice. So it's a double crit K-Swing already, so there's no reason to run Force 2, Force 1, just add more power. And then Auto Van, front or rear, at the end of the battle that your grade 3 was revealed for your drive check, if your opponent called a total of 1 Sentinel to guard circle for that battle, counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and deal them a damage. And at the end of the turn, if this on rear, put it into soul. So that's really nice that it has a permanent effect that can activate whether it's on van or rear, and you get to deal damage if they put down 1 Sentinel, and then it goes to soul at the end of the turn. And then auto, when rode upon, call it to front or rear and get a force gift. So pretty much here's what you do. You ride Kaiser. You ride Daikaiser on top of Kaiser. Kaiser gives you a force gift, this gives you a force gift. So that's 2. Then, what you do, next turn, ride another Daikaiser, skill the one in the soul, call it back, get a force gift on Van, use your Vanguard skill, get a force gift on the Kaiser on rear. And then Kaiser, this thing is on your rear, so then one of them has 30k power, one of them has 23, and the Vanguard's at 43 with double crit. Yeah, because this is definitely fair. Either way, that's really good, and my only problem with this is your opponent has to call 1 Sentinel for this to go off. It's only 1 Sentinel. If they call more than 1, you're screwed. So if they decide to go Sentinel, use ability, then place down another Sentinel but not use ability, then yeah, it's not going to do anything useful in that case because they call it down more than 1 Sentinel. But, I mean, that's still good because that does force out your opponent's second Sentinel, so I still like that regardless. It's just the fact that they can nullify the damage that easily, I guess, is disappointing to me, but it's still a good ability nonetheless. 4 of, it's still amazing. And then we also have a site reveal for our 2 side units that are part of the Blaze Maiden Mega Legion, which is Sword of Flames and Praviti Shield of Flames Sayambue. That is completely wrong, and I don't really care. So, interesting that it's a sword and shield. Are those the overdress cards? I assume they're the overdress cards, or maybe they're not even an overdress. Maybe they're like armament cards. That is not a statement at all. Like, maybe they're kind of like the thing from Buddy Fight. How do I put this? Like, where you can equip them to a creature. It's maybe like equip spells or something from Yu-Gi-Oh! I have no idea where I'm trying to go with this. Pretty much, they can. I'm assuming they might be equipment cards, or maybe they're really weird overdresses. Either way, I'll take either of them. They both seem cool. I love them. And then finally, we also have our PGs for Lyrical Monasterios. They all have the same effect of the standard PG, where you can only run 4 of them in the deck, and when placed on guard, you may choose one of your units that can't be hit done in battle, and if you have 2 or more hand cards, you choose one and discard it. So, there's nothing special about them. They're all the same, just with different names and different arts. And that was this week's reveals. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, follow the Twitch, join the Discord, and go check out Thera. And I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.